Hi, everybody. Happy Monday, LinkedIn. My name is Jen Ocknan, and if you are just sweeping by on your phone and you see this live and you're like, who the heck is this? I am a certified integrative health practitioner. And basically, think of me as a holistic health coach where I take the best of East meets West in terms of healthy philosophies, protocols, treatments. And I focus on creating results for professional women, 40 plus, who are just killing it in their everyday lives, bringing it to everybody in their lives, but maybe not taking time to take care of themselves. And so they are struggling with their weight, they're struggling with their hormones, they're struggling with their energy levels. I help them create results so that they can lose the weight, they can balance their hormones, ditch any sort of crazies going on, and just feel healthy, sexy, strong, and confident. So I really appreciate you stopping by today and hanging out with me at lunch. Listen, about 2 weeks ago, I was challenged by my business coach we were all challenged in my women's mastermind to think about our business differently. And she asked us, she said, what is your goal for the month of August, your financial goal? And so we all talked about our goals. And then she said, okay, I want you to now triple it. And we all went, what? And it was crazy to think about. And we've actually been reading as a group that book, 10x is easier than 2x. And so basically, she challenged us to say, how is it that you can think differently about your business or differently about how you're interacting with your people, your network, your community, your clients, so that you could, say, triple your revenue goal? And it's funny because one of the things that I have been struggling with is about a year ago, I got permission to go live on LinkedIn, and I opened my StreamYard account, and then I looked at it, and then I immediately said, no, I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for this. Hey, Tanya, thanks for joining. Hi, Hanif. So I let it sit and I didn't go live, and I continued doing my posts, and I started my LinkedIn women's group. Ladies, if you haven't checked it out, go to my profile. But I was hesitant to go live. It's intimidating, right? You never know who's going to pop on. You never know if anybody's going to pop on and wants to hear your message. But in thinking about this goal and thinking about a way to reach people differently, and then also with all the talk about AI, right? Did somebody really write that post? Did somebody really comment on that? Or is this just all chat GPT and nobody's really talking to each other anymore? I said, okay, enough is enough. Hey, Alexis, thank you so much for joining. I said, enough is enough, right? I'm going to go live. So what you see is what you get. I committed to go live for 30 days here on LinkedIn to share content that is related to my specialty. So what I did last week, I kicked it off on Monday, and I was so nervous, but it was absolutely transformative. I haven't had this much fun on LinkedIn in years. So I'm really, really excited about it. So some of the topics that I covered, like on Monday, I did a kickoff. Tuesday, I went right into women's hormone health. Talking about using food as medicine approach to balance your estrogen and progesterone, which can be done for any women, age 16 to 60. It doesn't matter where you are. I talked about, oh my gosh, so many things last week. It was just crazy. And the responses were really good. I got lots of messages. I haven't heard from people in a long time and saying, I really enjoy it. So here I am. I'm not great at it, but we're going to get better every single time. So I just wanted to give you guys an update of where we're at. We're on week 2 of my 30 days of Go Lives. And what I've decided to do this week is I've decided to talk about body toxicity. And couple reasons for this. One is that body toxicity is something that I focus on a lot with my clients as we go through my 90-day program. I have a signature program called Fatigue to Fabulous, where I take my clients through basically 12 weeks of protocols related to nutrition and stress management and hormone balancing and detoxing the body. The reason this is so important is that, well, there are over 100,000 man-made chemicals out there. And a lot of people think, well, Jen, the body can go ahead and take care of that, right? It's designed to detox. Yes, it absolutely is. Our I'm Jennifer. I'm supplying blue scorpion toxin. It's really wonderful for the organism. I don't know what that is. I'm talking about removing toxins, not bringing them in. So, Mark, we'll talk about that offline. Hey, Karen. So, there are thousands of chemicals out there man-made, and it absolutely has an impact on our health. Now, as I thought about how to approach this topic, I said, well, I could talk about this all day. So I decided to do a 3-part series, and I'm going to break it up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Now, important note, I want you to come at this from really awareness of what's going on and how toxins are impacting your body. I want to give you ideas on how you can make simple changes, because what I don't want you to be as we approach this topic is to be overwhelmed, because I was really overwhelmed when I first realized somewhat the complexity of what's going on out there. Right? When we think about the prevalence of disease that's going on right now, and I'm going to be looking at my notes because I wrote down stats. I did not memorize stats, not my thing. But you think about it, let's see, 50 million people or more have autoimmune diseases right now. High blood pressure affects 1 in 3 people. We've got 1 in 4 deaths are related to heart disease, and that's rising all the time. 13% of people are chronically impacted by migraines. My best friend is one of them, and it's just terrible. She's completely disabled. And my mom had chronic migraines growing up. I remember just kind of tiptoeing around her and said, what's wrong with mom? You know, she's in bed, the shades are drawn, she's huddled in bed, just trying to get rid of this, crushing pain in her head. Anxiety and mood related disorders, they're all up. Greater than 40 million people are suffering with them. And when we think about weight, obesity, 1 in 3 people are obese and 1 in 2 people are over their ideal body weight for their frame and their body type. I'm not talking about being skinny. I'm talking about being healthy for your body. Okay. So as we think about toxins, I think we really just have to take a step back, number one, and say, okay, let's ground ourselves in this. Let's approach this from a factual perspective. And let's not be overwhelmed. So, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through some of these things. And in the spirit of the more you know, right? Because I think if one thing the pandemic taught us more than anything else is that we are in control of our health. There's so much more you can do than what conventional medicine tells us, right? And again, for those of you who don't know me, I am not anti-conventional medicine, right? I break my arm, taking me to the emergency room or urgent care, right? If I have a true big bacterial infection, okay, give me the antibiotics. I'm all for that. But when we look at chronic states of disease, when we look at things like weight gain is a symptom, right? And it's not just a symptom of sitting on, home on your butt, watching Netflix, drinking wine. That's not what I'm talking about. Weight gain is a system. Hormone imbalances they're having, people having chronic pain, joint pain, inflammation, right? Something is going on in the body. And we have a lot more control than we have been educated by whoever, right? Whoever's supposed to educate us, parents or school system, whatever. And parents, not knocking parents at all. It's just about how we learn, right? Doctors, right? Doctors are not really. When's the last time you heard about somebody curing something, right? I think it's amazing though that we have the HIV, right? That practically zero detectable virus levels. That is absolutely phenomenal. But when you think about curing something, that isn't really what happens, right? You go to the doctor, you get a prescription. And if you read anything on my backstory about my struggles with coming off hormonal birth control, I was basically told nothing. I was told to stay on the pill, right? No questions about what I'm eating, how I'm feeling, any stressful events, what's going on. So you as an individual have control and have a lot of levers that you can pull in terms of what you can do to improve your overall health. And so understanding toxicity, understanding where it's coming from, understanding why it's happening is really important. So again, think of this first part as just awareness, right? And Diseases and deaths have shot up tremendously as we look at the start of the Industrial Revolution, right? Technology is an amazing thing. Again, not knocking technology, but when you think of the Industrial Revolution, when you think about how our food is produced, I mean, and you think about more of us being inside than ever before, change to our desks, getting all this blue light radiation on us, EMFs, everything that's going on, it's no wonder that we're getting sicker than ever. And when you think about it from the perspective of, okay, let's look at all the industrialized countries in the World Health Organization did a ranking and looked at industrialized countries, looked at who is spending the most on healthcare, but who is the sickest. And the US, without a doubt, we're spending the most money, and we are rated 37. France, Italy, Spain, Austria, these countries doing much, much better than we are and spending less in terms of keeping their populations healthy. Okay. So that's a fact. That's not fantasy. That's not fallacy. That's not woo-woo anything. Right. So really what I want to just talk about is today, how do you know maybe if you're being impacted by toxins? And I want to talk to you about the top 10 toxins that we are exposed to. And then I'm going to leave you with one or two simple things that you can do today. And then tomorrow, we're going to get into this even more, right? We're going to get into this even more. So let's dive in. So I already talked about, what are some statistics in terms of chronic diseases or other health concerns that we have that are related to just us getting sicker as a population. So let's think about diabetes. Okay, diabetes. We have 1 in 3 people will have diabetes. I'm talking about type 2 diabetes by 2050, right? 1 in 3 are going to have a heart disease. It just blows my mind. It just blows my mind. So again, as we go into this, take this as awareness. Take this as awareness. Don't be overwhelmed, and let's dive in. So top 10 toxins that we are exposed to. Number 1, you've got to look at is heavy metals. And another reason why I'm talking about this, I am currently going through a heavy metal detox protocol myself. I had a functional lab test going on. I do a bunch of functional lab tests every single year to monitor my health, but I'd never really done a heavy metals test. Excuse me. And I found that my metals in terms of mercury, cadmium, aluminum, very, very high. So I had to look at where am I potentially getting these things in my environment. Well, what I hadn't even thought about was my famous pot roast that everybody comes to my house, and really I could sell tickets for my pot roast. Okay. I make an amazing one. But what was I doing? Not even thinking, because this is how I learned how to do it. I was wrapping my vegetables in aluminum foil and putting them in the pressure cooker. What does that do? Right? Anytime you never really want to cook with aluminum foil. And how many times as a kid on a campfire, right, were we cooking our vegetables in foil packets, right? A very common way to barbecue. And what happens with that high heat? It hits that aluminum foil. That stuff starts leaching into our foods, right? So that was one thing that I immediately changed. Another thing I immediately changed was looking at the pots and pans that I were using. Anything that had kind of those nonstick coatings on them, getting rid of those. Something that was very common, not so much anymore, I don't think, but the fillings in your teeth. Do you remember the mercury fillings? Did anybody have a mercury filling who's on here? Or does anybody still have them? If you do, I want you to go ahead and Google after this, safe ways to remove mercury fillings and get them replaced with something that isn't toxic. Think about that. You have that mercury in your mouth. Every time you chew food, you get a little bit of that mercury going in. And so when you think about how you're feeling with this, sluggishness with heavy metals, brain fog, general tiredness, just not feeling well. Right. And then you can also look at things where heavy metal toxicity can impact fertility rates. Right. And I'm not even going to go into all of our children now who are on the spectrum more and more, earlier and earlier. Right. Beverly, you had them replaced. Get them all replaced. Definitely. So heavy metals, just one. So massive inflammation, mercury, aluminum, cadmium, arsenic. These things are in our water supply. Right. So I think it's important to know, and I didn't say this earlier, that lots of times these things are considered safe. And the argument is that we're getting them in such small doses, it's okay. Well, what you have to really think about is the dosing over time. And are there really great long-term studies on all of these things that will tell us, sorry, you can't really see me, that will tell us that long-term exposure of these things are safe? We don't know that. We don't know that. It's just not out there. So smaller doses, exposure over time, these things build up in our system, right? And our body knows it shouldn't be there, right? Our gut knows it shouldn't be there, right? Our brain, our whole digestive tract, right? You're finding these heavy metals that are circulating all through your body. And because your body knows it shouldn't be there, that's when inflammation develops. Your liver knows it shouldn't be there, trying to filter it out of the blood, right? So heavy metals, number one. Number two, looking at pesticides and DDT. Okay. When you see people spraying crops, they're in full hazmat suits, right? Or after fields have been sprayed, there's skulls and crossbones and everything else saying, don't go there, right? I understand and the issues with challenges of feeding a world population. But one of the things that we have to be cognizant of, and you can make that choice if you can for you and your family, is to eat clean whenever possible. Okay, eat clean whenever possible. You can look at YouTube. If you go on YouTube, you can look at an apple and say apple in boiling water. A lot of apples you get, they're covered like in wax, right? And so you get that wax and those plastics coming into your system. That's terrible, right? Or when you think about pesticides and people say, well, that's okay, just peel the fruit. Well, how do you peel a raspberry? How do you peel a strawberry? Right? So you can clean some of these things off, but others, they're just inherently in there. So again, we're talking about buildup over time. That's why it's so important when you can choose organic. Okay. What's next? Tap water. It's really important to have clean tap water so there's not bugs in it. So we're getting things like dysentery, right? I am thrilled to be able to have that, but there's still, number one, there's not a lot of clean drinking water all over the world. We have to acknowledge that. But number two, things like fluoride in our water. Fluoride was put in our water because there was an argument that would help prevent cavities. Well, there's not fluoride in a lot of the water in Western Europe, and the rates over there for cavities are no better or no worse, right? Fluoride is something that, again, it comes in, stays in your system forever, causes inflammation. Your body knows that it shouldn't be there. There are so many things that can be attributed to long-term toxic exposure, right? So whenever you're drinking, if you can, get a filtration system, maybe put on your tap, right? Get a filtration system put in your shower, right? Chlorine in the water, when it comes out as hot water in a spray, chlorine, it's vaporized, right? And so you're inhaling all that in, all those particles, right? So drinking water that you're doing, if you can, when you can, spring water. And number two, definitely getting filters on it, right? Don't be drinking unfiltered water, especially tap water. And you can test your water very, very easily. Stress, number five. Look, stress is a toxin. Our bodies, biologically, or from an evolutionary perspective, right, are not designed to keep up with the level of stress that we have in current modern day society. Always running around, trying to keep up with everything, answering every email, getting back to every phone, our texts, keeping up with all our kids' activities, their doctor's appointments, your parents' doctor's appointments, right? Especially if they're, you're my age, you're dealing with aging parents too and have issues, right? All this chronic stress that's going on, it is sending our nervous systems into overdrive, right? And when that happens, I did a masterclass on this earlier in the summer. What happens with chronic stress, right? Stress makes us fat, tired, interrupts our hormone production in our body, interrupts the production, the conversion of T4 to T3 in terms of our thyroid, right? We have got to find more ways to relax, okay? Number 6, EMFs. EMFs everywhere. My Apple Watch, yep, it's a thing. So what do I have? An EMF protector on my other wrist, right? All these EMF exposure from our phones, from our earbuds that we're putting in, these things work in the energy in our body. Anything that's an energy disruption is going to cause problems over time. When you're up in the sky, all the EMF radiation, when you're in a plane, these things again disrupt hormones, metabolism, your whole endocrine system, right? Something again that we have to do. And I know I only have 30 minutes, so I'm rushing through this list. If you guys have any questions on this, or you want to ask me about a specific toxin, or maybe I do a whole show on one, I can certainly do that. Okay. I just want you guys, this is an awareness session. This is an awareness section. I don't want you to be overwhelmed, but again, awareness, if you've never really thought about it, why you're feeling tired, why you're feeling stressed, why you're feeling bad all the time. Could be because your body is overloaded with toxins and is just struggling to keep up with the load that's on it. And we have to do things to remove that toxic load to help our body do what it needs to do, because our bodies are a miracle. They're just overloaded right now. They're just overloaded. So number 7, this one's really interesting, homesick or building sick, right? Oftentimes, if you don't get good circulation of air in your home, right, there's all these chemical discharge. Let me give you an example of one. We had to get a new mattress a few months ago because my husband has 3 herniated discs, and we're going through a whole protocol to get him treated. But it was time we looked at a new mattress. So we got one, and we'd really like the one in the store, very highly rated, kind of a green mattress. We thought, gas off though. That mattress, if you've ever gotten a new mattress, the smell that comes off, holy smokes, that's petroleum. Okay. And they say, oh, you take it out of the plastic casing and everything, the smell will dissipate. That mattress stunk to high heaven for 4 days. I had the worst headaches. My husband had the worst headaches. I had covered that with mattress pads, new sheets, everything. I'm like, this mattress is toxic. There is something seriously wrong with it. So I had them come get that mattress, and I got one replaced. But you think about all the things, all the chemicals that we have in our home, right? In our cleaning products, in our dryer sheets, our laundry detergents, things we're using to clean our dishes, things that we're using to clean our furniture, everything, just so many toxics in our home. We have to be really careful about what we're using and what we're bringing in. Also, you think about the quality of air in your home. Are you changing the filter on your HVAC? Somebody's saying, what? Yeah, we have filters on our HVAC system. So if you don't change those over time, if you haven't in a long time, go look at it, peel it out. And if it's covered with gunk, please change that out. Just like the oil filter in our car, right? You have to be able to have those filters clean to have optimal performance. Okay. So homesick. Skincare products. Number 8, skincare products. So ladies, think of our beauty routine. Think about all the stuff that we put on our skin, our hair, and our nails. Okay. It can be absolutely overwhelming. And there's so many things in our products that are bad for us. When you think about parabens, when you think about actually aluminums in our deodorant, right? So personal care product with heavy metals in it, bad, right? So looking at your skincare, looking at your personal care routines, anything that is fragrance related. Does anybody remember like the early days of like what was it? Not Bed Bath & Beyond. The Bath Works, all those products where they had just about every lotion under the sun with every smell under the sun. So you could smell like a sugar plum fairy if you wanted, or a vanilla field or whatever it is. We're not meant to smell that way. We're not. We're really not. Fragrance is an endocrine disruptor. It can really disrupt your hormones and your whole endocrine system. So one of the things that you want to think about is getting fragrance free. Okay, fragrance is one of the number one things in terms of irritation of your skin, adding to additional chemicals in your skin that you do not need. So moving along, because we're at 12:24. Let's see. Pharmaceuticals, drugs, so many drugs for everything. You can get a prescription for anything now. Prescriptions relieve symptoms. What I like to do as a functional health practitioner is I like to try and find root cause, especially when we're looking at chronic issues. So by restoring any nutrient deficiencies in your body, by reducing toxicities, you can hopefully restore balance and help your body heal itself. instead of just getting a prescription to mask the symptoms that then can cause other symptoms. And again, I'm not anti-conventional medicine. I'm just saying that we used to in this country be a lot more balanced. There used to be just as many functional and naturopathic colleges, universities, doctors, people practicing as there was conventional. And that all stopped. That stopped with a bunch of infusion of money from the big oil barons, the Rockefellers of the world, the G.D. Morgans, etc. You can look this up. This is not something I'm making up, but they offered to give a lot of money to all these universities and said, but you have to practice this type of medicine. So over the last 50, 60, 100 years or whatever, all this other stuff, it kind of got lost. Stuff that's been working for thousands of years, right? Eastern medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, hot and cold therapies, things that would help us heal. Right? It became woo-woo. And we're just now on that cusp of rediscovering things. And that's what I'm hoping to bring to all of you. So pharmaceuticals, a lot of messy side effects, and we're running low here. Gut bugs, parasites, bad bacteria in the gut, right? This is definitely a toxin. Almost every person who comes to me has some sort of gut dysbiosis, right? Our gut is our second brain, right? We've all heard that now because it's got just as many, if not more, neurons than our actual brain, right? So when our digestive system is disrupted by things, that causes a whole host of systems, whether it's skin issues, tiredness, bloating, irritability, lack of nutrient absorption, all these things where you think you're eating healthy foods. You are what you eat. You are what you absorb, both the good and the bad, right? Both the good and the bad. So gut bugs, big one. So the reason I started out this way on a Monday, and not meaning to bum anyone out, right? I came to this very relaxed. I am detoxing today myself, food detox. I'm in the middle of a 6-week heavy metal detox protocol. I rode my bike. I went and had 20 minutes in front of my red light panels. I did infrared sauna for 30 minutes. That's why my hair is still a little bit crazy. I was still so hot. I couldn't even possibly get underneath a blow dryer. So it's going to be a curly hair day for me today. But I wanted to just bring this to you very calmly to say, look, all these companies out there with all these thousands of man-made chemicals, right? We just have to be aware. And there are some simple things that we can do to detox ourselves, to keep ourselves healthy. And these are just healthy habits, right? You take a shower every day, right? You brush your teeth every day. Well, there's some other things that you can do on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis to help manage that toxic load that we have, right? So that our bodies aren't overflowing, so our liver isn't overwhelmed. And I'm going to talk a lot about our liver tomorrow and its role in keeping the body healthy and clean, right? The liver is our biggest organ. It's our queen organ, and we do not give her enough respect on what she's doing, right? She's filtering our blood every 6 minutes out of a lot of this crap that we're getting exposed to or putting in our bodies. So we're going to talk about a lot about the liver, a lot about autophagy, a lot about those processes tomorrow. So let's see, how do you get a heavy metals panel performed? Functional medicine labs. And Jason, if you want some more information on that, just send me a DM. But yeah, I got a panel, and it's usually hair. Usually you take a clip of hair, about yay big, they weigh it so much, and you send it off to a lab, and it can come back with an analysis and within, 2 to 4 weeks to tell you where you are in terms of heavy metal toxicity in your body. And then myself, other naturopaths and whatnot, there's protocols that you can do that are very simple to use that over time can help you flush out those. And so one of the things that I'm doing along with my protocol is, again, the red light and infrared saunas, absolutely amazing in terms of really getting into your cells and activating them and pushing out all the water from inside, and with it flushing out a lot of toxins in your body. Now, doing infrared light along with the detox protocol is wonderful, right? Because you're really pushing all that stuff out of your body. Sauna is absolutely amazing. And I'm so calm and I'm so relaxed, and it's a Monday morning, right? Or Monday at lunchtime. So again, I work with women 40 plus to help them lose weight, balance the crazies, lose the brain fog, right? So they feel healthy, sexy, energized, and confident. I also have guy clients too. I have a guy client now. We're on the end of his first month. He's down 20 pounds. He's feeling great, right? But I share this with you because body toxicity is a huge part of healing yourself. And things like weight gain, women come to me and say, I need to lose weight. I'm not feeling like myself. Well, it's not just about diet, but it's about incorporating in protocols and lifestyle changes to make you gradually healthier so that you can feel better every single day. One of the things that you might want to think about, I made some suggestions about water filters and changing your HVAC and whatnot. One of the things that I like to encourage people to do is just do like one healthy swap a month, like maybe in your personal routine, right? So that by the end of the year, you've maybe replaced out 12 different sets of products. So you have a much, much healthier, cleaner products that you're using. So in January, I encouraged everybody to switch out their toothpaste from a fluorinated to a non-fluorinated toothpaste. So I've got a graphic that I'm going to post in here. You guys can download it on your phones, and it's got all the different chemicals that you should be aware of when you're looking at toothpaste. And then also ideas on brands that are much cleaner and better for you that you can switch to. So how easy is that? Changing your toothpaste, right? Lessening your chemical load on your body right then and there. So that's one that I'll put on there. Another one that I'll put on there is things about body lotions. I believe is another graphic I'll put on there. So I'm going to put some things on there so that you can start thinking about just over time, making some easy swaps. And then as we get going into this, I'll talk more about routines that you can do. And if you have questions, you want to talk to me specifically, please reach out. Again, this is something that I specialize in doing with my clients. So thank you so much for joining today. If you like this, please like the live, please comment on it, please consider sharing. I've also created a business page called Shift into Health. The icon picture is the same, so you'll know it's me. I'd love to be able to directly live stream to it from StreamYard, but I have to have 150 followers on that page. And so what I thought is if I create that page and I just put live streams on it, it would be much easier for everyone to find particular topics versus always going to my regular page, which you're going to have live streams, plus you're going to have all my other posts and events and things like that too. So if you would do me a favor, please like or comment this. And again, go to Shift into Health, my page, and follow it so you can be aware of all the great content. Tomorrow, again, we're digging into the liver. We're digging into phase 1, phase 2 liver detoxification, how you're helping your body heal so it can help release some of these chemicals and some other fantastic processes that are great. Detoxification is one of the best things that you can do in terms of anti-aging too, or what I like to call pro-aging, right? I'm going to be 50 in October. I'm going to feel fabulous. I don't want to be in my 20s again, right? So I'd rather think about pro-aging, being healthy at the age that you're at and keeping yourself healthy for the long term. So thank you so much for joining today. I really appreciate your time, and I look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow. Take care.